Alright, B'ezrat Hashem, we are here learning on the Parashat according to Breslev teachings. We have a teaching from Rabbi Nachman in the second part of Likutei Moharan, the 62nd teaching. It's on the Parashat Miketz. And it says like this. There's a pasuk in the Parashat that says, K'chu mizimrat ha'aretz b'nechechem v'uidu l'ishmincha. Take from the song of the earth in your vessels and take a gift down to the man. When the brothers want to come back to Yosef now, Yaakov Avinu says to them, K'chu mizimrat ha'aretz. Take from the song of the land. Da, Yaakov Avinu kshishalach et banav aseret hashvatim liyosef. Know that when Yaakov Avinu sent the 10 tribes to Yosef, shalach imehem nigun shel Eretz Yisrael. He sent the nigun of Eretz Yisrael, the song of Eretz Yisrael. V'zeu sod, K'chu mizimrat ha'aretz b'chechem v'uidu l'shmincha. B'chinat zemer v'nigun. What is mizimrat ha'aretz? Now, zmor, we have to understand, there's two words for a nigun. There's mizmor and there's shir.
Oh, shir? What's zimra?
Zimra is mizmor. Same mizmor. When we say Tehillim, mizmor, right? Always look at the roots. The root of the word is 3 letters. Zayin, Mem, Resh, right?
Same with zim.
Right, so mizmor and mizimrat ha'aretz. So now what's a mizmor? Mizmor, we know, is in Tehillim. But in Hebrew, when you want to prune the vineyards, it's called lizmor. Lizmor. To prune, right? To cut off. I learned once from Alex Clare, which is a deep teaching, that there's these 2 words for the nigun. That one is mizmor, which is like a song, but since zmira is the pruning of the vineyard, so it's like it's also like a song with words that it's cut, because words are cut, individual words and letters, and in order to understand them, you have to really understand the language in order to really get the depth of what's being said. And then you have shir. Shir comes from the word kesher, a knot, a connection. So there, it's already like the melody. It's like the song, not necessarily the words. It's the music, right? The song itself, and that already everybody can connect to when it doesn't have words, because when you like a nigun, right? It doesn't have any words, but everybody can connect to it because it's not limited by the words that are there. Even though the words could add a lot of depth,
not limited by the
lack of understanding, right? Exactly. So. When he says, K'chu mizimrat ha'aretz, Rabbi Nachman says, B'chinat zemer v'nigun. Mizimrat ha'aretz, right? So technically it could mean take from the harvesting of the land.
The prune of the land, yeah.
Meaning like take all the good fruits and take it down to the man.
Or the understanding of the words of the land.
No. That's already, you're connecting it back to what I said. In the pshat of what the Torah is saying, Yaakov Avinu is telling him, take fruits from the land of Israel, take him some good fruits from here, and take it down to this guy. Rabbi Nachman says, Mizimrat ha'aretz, from the pruning of the land. Zimrat comes from this word zemer, which is a song, and nigun. Sheshalach al yadam liYosef. He sent, Yaakov Avinu was sending to Yosef in his Ruach HaKodesh a shir, a song from Eretz Yisrael. Rashi, like Rashi says, Zimrat lashon zemer. From Zimrat, that's the word zemer. Kida. כי כל רואה ורואה יש לו ניגון מיוחד לפי העשבים, לפי המקום שהוא רואה שם. Every single shepherd and every shepherd has a specific nigun that is unique to all of the plants in the place that he is herding his flock.
So Yaakov gave Yosef his?
He sent, I don't know. כי כל בהמה ובהמה יש לה עשב מיוחד. Every single animal has a unique type of grass, type of vegetation that it eats. That cows eat this, right? The sheep eat that. Also, a shepherd doesn't always stay in one place. He has to move to different pastures. According to the place that he's herding in right now, that he's shepherding in right now, there is a specific nigun to that place. Every single vegetation, every single blade of grass, every different type of vegetation that grows out of the ground has a unique nigun, a unique song that it has, and that's the aspect of Perek Shira. Perek Shira is an amazing thing to read every single day. out of this world, the whole entire creation and all of the songs that they sing to Hashem. What does the animals say? What do the clouds say? What do the days say? What do the rivers say? What do the grass and Perik Shira, out of this world. Amazing, extremely important to connect it a little bit, to at least to learn what it is. And from the singing of the blades of the vegetation in the field, the nigun of the shepherd is made. Where does he get his song from? From the vegetation of the field that his animals are eating. וזה סוד מה שכתוב. ותלד עדה את יבל. This is the secret of when you go all the way back to Bereshit, in the continuation of the people that came after Adam. It says that Ada gave birth to Yaval. hu haya avi yoshev oel umikneh. He was the father sitting in the tent and with the livestock. V'shem achiv Yuval, and his brother's name was Yuval. Hu haya avi kol tofes kinor ve'ugav. He was the father of everybody that would grab a harp and a different type of instrument, right? Meaning Yuval, he's the father of musicians. The second that there was a ro'eh mikneh, his brother Yaval, who was in charge of livestock and herding, right? He sat in the tent and was a shepherd. And his brother's name was Yuval, and he was the father of all musicians. Meaning the second that there came into the world, a ro'eh, Rabbi Nachman says, the second that there was a herder, a shepherder, a person in charge of livestock in the world, all of a sudden there was music in the world. And therefore David HaMelech, Shaya Yodeh Nagen, that it says about him, Yodeh Nagen, he knew Nagen, he knew music. Al Ken Haya Roeh, he was a shepherd. There's another thing in Isaiah, in the 24th chapter of Isaiah, it says, from the corners of the earth, we heard zmirot, we heard songs. Meaning, where do you get songs from? Rabbi Nachman says, from the corners of the land. Because by way of the vegetation that grows on land comes the nigunim of the world. And know, the king, he has every single nigun completely in him. The ministers, they only have a part in that nigun. Everyone according to his place where he's appointed. Therefore Daniel said to Nebuchadnezzar, Antu ilana, I am the tree, and the fruit, the sustenance for everybody is inside of it. The Nebuchadnezzar, that he is the king and he has the whole entire nigun. By way of him, all of the food is brought down, all of the sustenance is brought down. Because the mazon, the sustenance, is brought down by way of the nigun. Again, it's like this circular thing, right? The plants give off the nigun, and those plants become produce. It's all connected to the nigun. Therefore Yaakov Avinu, even though he didn't know that it was Yosef he was sending gifts to, only according to what they said to him, the Shvatim. Yaakov Avinu saw that according to the stature of this minister that is asking for all of this from the sons to come back, he's a minister, he's not the king, he's not Pharaoh. According to a minister in this stature, let's send him this nigun. This is the proper nigun to send him. According to what he heard from his sons, how he behaves, what is the things he's doing, how he's leading. Yaakov wanted to do, cause actions inside of him by way of this nigun. Therefore he sent him the same nigun of Eretz Yisrael, the nigun of Eretz Yisrael. And this is what he said to his sons. Take from the song of the land in your vessels. So they should take this aspect of the nigun. This nigun is the song of the land. In their vessels, V'oridu leish mincha, and take down to this man a mincha. Mincha means a gift. Me'at tzori, me'at dvash, nechot velot botnim ushkedim. A little bit of tzori, a little, I don't know how to translate these things. A little bit of silan, date honey. Nechot velot botnim is peanuts, and shkedim is almonds. Hem b'chinat mishkalot amidot hanigun. This is the aspect of the weight and the size of the nigun, meaning how much you're playing each note. Ki nigun naaseh migdulei haaretz, because the nigun is done by the growth of the land, right? So when it comes to this point that we're doing that this is a deep secret here that I learned more depth of it in Tzfat. And in Tzfat, the eyes were opened by a person here, a musician, that he said, when you look at the thing, it says "V'udu lish mincha." Take down to the man. It's fine. You're good. You did what you had to do. V'udu lish mincha. Take down to this man a gift. Me'at tzori, the pasuk, the pasuk in the Torah says me'at tzori, me'at vash, nechot v'lot botnim mishkim. And it starts to mention all of these things. Now, how many things do we have here? Me'at tzori, a little bit of tzori, a little bit of dvash, nechot, velot, botnim, ushkedim.
Six.
Do the ladder of do re mi. Do it really quick. Do. Say it out loud. Do re.
Do re mi fa sol la.
Do re mi fa sol la. Now, yeah, you know music better than me. That's 6, and he took down 6 things, right? And Rabbi Nachman says this is the weight of the notes and the weight and the measurement. So 2 of those don't have a double.
Yeah.
Right? Out of the 6, 4 of them are doubled, and 2 of them are only half notes.
One more time.
Out of the 6, do re
Yeah.
mi, right? 2 of them don't have. 2 of them are only half notes. They don't have a counterpart, right?
Okay. And then the other 4 are quarter notes.
I guess I don't know the proper terminology of all this stuff. I just know the Dvar Torah. Now, what's the idea? In the Pashat, in the thing, he says me'at tzori, me'at dvash. A little bit of tzori, a little bit of dvash. There's 2 things here that it says a little bit, and then the other 4 are full quantities. It doesn't say a little bit. So, like in Do Re Mi, you have 6 levels, and 2 of them are only half notes. They don't have the other side to them. So to here you see that inside the 6 things of the songs of the land, and that is the weight of the music and the nigun. And Menachem also hinted in there that this is the weight, right? It's crazy story.
A little bit left.
Baruch Hashem. So that's that and that. And we have. We can do another one. What do you want to do? A little bit about the dream, a little bit of gathering food, the plan of Yosef, the cows coming up, Pharaoh dreaming. What do you feel like?
What was the one about Joseph?
His plan of how to save the food. What does that mean for us?
Yeah, with the after the dreams, yeah.
Yeah, when he tells Pharaoh what's the actual application.
Yeah, the actual.
So it says there, "Vaya ochel lefikadon." They started to part of Yosef's plan in the Parashat is that he sees that that Pharaoh has these dreams that there's going to be 7 years of famine and then 7 years of abundance and then 7 years of famine, right? So that's one thing to interpret a dream, but with the Chokhmah of Yosef HaTzadik, he was able also to make a plan of how to save Egypt economically to get through it. And his plan was, all the food now is like martial law, we're confiscating everything belongs to the state, and we're going to give out rations to the people, right? But every farmer now, you're state employed, right? You're working for the country, for the empire of Egypt. Everything belongs to Pharaoh, and Yosef is he's the one that breaks bread, right? He's the one that decides who's getting what and how much, according to how many people are in their family, etc., etc. They gathered food. He gave this idea, go and collect all of the food, and the food now should be for deposit. Yosef HaTzadik noten eitzah lechol mi sherotze lechus al nafsho. Yosef HaTzadik, again, we're learning Pnimiyut Torah, we're learning the inner aspects of the Torah, we're taking this, applying it to ourselves. Yosef HaTzadik is giving advice to anybody who wants to have mercy on their own soul. Shikabetz kol ha'ochel sheva shanim hatovot. Gather in all of the food of the 7 years of satiation, of abundance. And the moment that a little bit of good is aroused inside of you, that's the 7 years, the aspect of the 7 years of satiation, the seven years of abundance. Straight away what you have to do is contemplate on all of that good that's being done, gather it in, store it inside of you as a deposit for when the days of famine come. When you're on a wave and you're flying, straight away you have to already now take that and run with it. Go learn as much as you can, pray as much as you can, do as many mitzvot as you can. Anything that you're able to at that time of goodness in your life, in that time of expansion, that time of abundance, of shefa. It says in Kohelet, in the Proverbs, sorry, I don't know in English, Ecclesiastes, whatever they call it, right? It says there that in the time, anything that you find in your hand the ability to do it. Meaning, if you're in a time of expansion, do what you can, do as much as you can. If you have free time, you take advantage, right? So that you should have it as a deposit for the times of bad, God forbid. These are the aspects of the bad days that have to go on every single person. Everybody has to go through these days. Then you'll be able, in those times of famine, to give yourself vitality from the days that were in the past when you had an expansion and you had a lot of sustenance, but you saved a little bit of it. You saved up. You had a savings account of good points about yourself that you can pull from when you don't feel so good about yourself, to give yourself the ability that you need to continue the fight and to do good in the world. And the same idea that the food was for a deposit. A person has to guard his memory very much. Just on here a little story of Rav Ovadia. Once Rav Ovadia he had a surgery when he got older, and then they gave him pills afterwards. And he asked, what does this pill do? What are the side effects of this pill? So he started listing all that, and he says, what else? And they said a few side effects, he's like, what else? Such a genius, I don't know how he does this stuff. And then they said to him, Rav, there's a little bit of chance that it could affect memory. He said, no way. It can't be that Hashem wants to give me medicine that's going to affect my memory when my biggest gift from Hashem is my memory. It can't be that my gifts from Hashem is what He's going to take away from me. So, שיזכיר את עצמו בכל פעם את כל התשוקות הראשונות והתלהבות והכיסופים שהיו לו מעולם להשם יתברך לעבודתו. You have to remember all of the yearning, all of the longing, all of the desire and the passion that you had in the beginning when you started to make tshuva, when you started to come towards Hashem and His avodah. כדי להמשיך עליו את כל הרשימות שנשארו מהשתוקקות הראשונה. You have to be able to pull down all of the impression that was left over from that first acquaintance with God, that first interaction when you decided, I'm going to become a kosher Jew, I'm going to do everything in my power to grow. You have to be able to remember those things and bring them in. So that you'll be able to arouse yourself by way of that to return to Hashem Yitbarach, like it's written by Rabbi Nachman in Torah 222. The person has to hold on to himself. You have to hold yourself by what? Sometimes you're going to go through darkness. Where do you bring your strength from? From those first days when the light of Hashem was shining and was radiant, and you were able to really bask in the glory of Hashem. This aspect of Yosef, that he's the rectification of the dreams of Pharaoh. He gave an advice of how to stretch out the abundance of the 7 years of satiation, of abundance. how to really guard it and spread it out. And the land should not be cut off in famine. Again, what are we saying here? That you shouldn't be the aretz is the ratzon, the desire, ratzon. Right, it's the desire of the Jew to do good. That shouldn't be cut off because of the famine, because of the lack of light, because of the lack of revelation, because of the lack of connection to Hashem. The idea was gather in all of the food from these 7 good years, and the food should be for a deposit. That immediately when a little bit of tov, of good is aroused in a person, which is the aspect of the sanctity of Eretz Yisrael. That's the place, and the root of all sanctity in the world comes from Eretz Yisrael. You have this desire to do good, you have this sanctity of Eretz Yisrael come over you, and straight away you have to go out and you have to do some kind of holy work in the world with that yearning. Your longing and your yearning, do something about it. Bring it into this world in action. Litpalel or linmod, pray, learn. Or yaseh is a mitzvah, go do some mitzvah. V'yaseh la'atzmo tarot b'mocho, and make for yourself treasures in your brain. Latmin sham et kol tov shel sheva shanim hatovot, to place inside these treasure chests inside your brain all of this good. Ki adam yesh lo b'chira, a person has free will. Yesh koach beyado, כשבא עליו איזו תשוקה טובה להטמין ולקשר אותה בפנימיות מוחו. When this good comes to you, you have the ability to take that good and to bury it in your head, not deep, in a treasure chest that's accessible, that you can go and you can access it and take from there. And you can take from this thought of yearning and longing towards Hashem, to remember it very well, that you shouldn't forget it. Since Yosef Tzaddik is already giving him the warning before everything started that you're going to have bad after this, there's going to be 7 years of hardship after this. And they're going to make you try to forget of all of the satiation, right? Because Yosef tells him the 7 years of famine are going to, right? That was the idea, that the skinny cows swallowed up the healthy fat cows. It completely consumed them, meaning all of the shefa is as if you never had shefa. That's how bad the famine's going to be, right? So that's too, your life can be so bad sometimes that you forget that you even had good. You forget that you had a connection to Hashem. You forget that you had the light of Hashem on you at all times. The intellectual person, the spiritual person will understand already about all of this about himself. That you have to lignoz eitev et kol hatov. You have to hide very well all of the good. You have to take this memories of the good times and you have to guard them in your head. Tie this desire for sanctity of kedusha, tie it up in your head. And take in your consciousness this idea itself. Even when your heart is concealed, is completely covered up, by way of the arousal of the negativity of the evil that's there. Even though that's the case, you strengthen yourself in avodat Hashem by way of remembering your first yearning, your first longing that you had. And all of the impressions of those first desires, that they should be, that you held inside the most internal chambers of your brain, and they shall be for yourself. The pikadon, there should be a storage, a deposit, in order to bring vitality back to your soul in the days of evil, the days of hard, the days of famine, which is the aspect of Vayawach lefikadon le'eretz le'sheva shnei harav asher tehena achrechen ve'lo tikaret haaretz barav. This is what it means, what it says, and it should be food for a deposit to the land, the 7 days of famine that will come afterwards, and the land will not be cut off in its famine, in its famine. Zat Hashem. Keep going. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, this is the Chanukah Torah. The main Chanukah Torah and Likutei Moharan is the second teaching in the second book. That is, it's literally called the Days of Chanukah.
Whoa.
The second is very important to read, extremely important. It's quite a bit long. This is the last part of it.
I'm gonna read it
But
after my shiur with Kanan.
It's out of this world.
I literally
This
Googled
two,
it.
two.
I was like, Likutei Moharan lesson for Hanukkah, and it only suggested like multiple sources, like 54:1. That's the one he taught on Shabbos Hanukkah. But it was only one paragraph. That was like
Yeah.
the
Two. That's what it is.
two. Awesome.
Gazu gam li gam lach lo. They decreed for me. They decreed. Also for me. Also for you. No. So the Yetzer Hara says there's a whole teaching there. It's deep, but here this is a nekuda from the Haftarah. That pasuk is from the Haftarah. No. שמזמור לתודה הוא מסוגל למקשה ללד. מזמור לתודה, Psalm 100, is a zgula for a woman that's having a hard time. Doesn't say a woman. I'm going to be very meduyak with his words. מסוגל למקשה ללד. Mizmor לתודה is very auspicious, very good thing for a person who has a hard time giving birth. And I'm not being precise because of political correctness and that men
No,
can get
because
pregnant.
that's the word that he used.
Because he says that person has a hard time giving birth. And you're going to see why this is important and not just about women.
Yeah.
Meaning saying thank you to Hashem. Ki mizmor letoda, a mizmor letoda, saying this song of thanks. Reshet Tevot Mal is the Reshet Tevot Mizmor letoda Mem Lamed. Mem Lamed is 70, 40, and 30, which is Ayin Kalin Shel HaYoledet Shetzoeket Kodem HaLeda. It's taught that the woman can't give birth until she screams out 70 screams.
Whoa.
Right? So Mizmor letoda is Mem Lamed, 40, 30, 70. These are the 70 screams that the woman has to scream before she can give birth. V'yesh mizmor ze kasach otiot. In this mizmor letoda, there is 168 letters. Okay, and that is gematria kasach, kuf samechet. Kuf samechet in adbash. Hold on, you gotta put your safety belt on for this. It's short, but it's deep. Kuf samechet is the number of letters that are inside the mizmor, inside that parak. Right? There's 168. If you take Kasach in Atbash is a form of gematria where Aleph is equal to Taf, Bet is equal to Shin, first and last, second to last, right?
Yeah.
And they're interchangeable that way. If you do Kasach in Atbash, you get Chesed. And by way of Chesed, which is Alachot, the whole entire Torah there, the 2 is Alachot, which is Chesed, which is thank you, and this is the days of Halal and Hoda'ah. Whole thing there. So by way of the chesed, which is the aspect of halachot, a holada banekel, then there will be birth, it will be given easily. There's 43 letters, words in this perek. Because the hardship of giving birth is by way of a klipa that comes and says, Gazru gamli gamlach lo. They made a decree for me too, and for you also. No, it's very weird, but it comes from Kings 1:3. Ki eno rotze sheyetze la'avir ha'olam, because he doesn't want that this baby should come out into the air of the world. Ki keneged zeh yesh mem gimel tevot b'zeh mizmor chilat gam. Therefore, there's mem gimel. There's 43 words in this mizmor in order to counteract that gam li. Gam is mem gimel, is also, right? Also me, also you. No.
That's the 43.
Right? Meaning if I can't have it, no one can have it, right? It's that attitude. That's what the answer is. I don't want anybody, don't want this powerful force coming into the world, another Jewish soul to come into the world, because that's already more power against me, says the Yetzer Hara. So that gam li, gam lach lo, right? That negativity that he's saying there.
The 43
words counteract that. Because this mizmor is a sgula for a person that's having a hard time giving birth. And why a person that's having a hard time giving birth? Because obviously, like everything physical thing is just a manifestation of a spiritual reality. So there is women that obviously that the pshat here is women that are having a hard time getting pregnant or giving birth, right? She can't get the baby out. She could say Mizmor LeTodah. When you say thank you, everything starts to flow. Really though, we also have hard times giving birth. Men can also have this. Why? Not babies, but fruit and fruition in this world. We all have desires of things that we want to bring into the world. We want to bring holy energies into the world, right? We want to have another word for your midot, another word for your character traits is banim, your children, right? So we want to have better children. We want to give birth to good children. We want to have good midot. The question is it hard for us? And if it's hard for us, what should we do? Say thank you. Say thank you, Hashem, right? And again, the Todah, the Chesed is all connected to Halacha. Meaning, if you're having a hard time, learn Halachot and learn. The Baal Shem Tov would say, if a person's having a hard time with a mitzvah, you should read the place of that mitzvah. Read the 630. Where is it rooted inside the Torah? And further than that, if you're having a hard time, then learn about the thing, and you'll come closer to doing it. So learn the halachot that are connected to the thing. So if you're trying to do something in the world in your spiritual life, and you're trying to bring it into the world, and even this you could apply this to your physical
let's say
as well.
It's a business, you learn the halach on business, find
Or if you're trying to understand really tefillin and to have a deep connection to tefillin, learn the halachot of tefillin, learn the pnimiyut, learn the deeper aspects of tefillin, learn the secrets of these things, and then it'll be easier for you to bring that energy into the world, to give birth to that reality inside the world where you are a better person, where you are a successful businessman, where you are a person that gets deep connection when you put on tefillin. Amazing, amazing parasha.